Rachel Rose here for Paradise London, and I am in the back of the Paradise cab with Ollie Stokes from BeReal. Hi, Ollie.
Hi guys, hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. The weather hasn't turned out okay, but I'm excited to be here.
I know, yesterday it was sun shining.
Yeah, well,
and
I got
hot.
back to London yesterday, so maybe that's the curse.
It was you.
Yeah,
it was your fault. You brought the grey. How dare
Exactly.
you? I'm joking. So we are at South by Southwest today, and we're going to be asking you some marketing-based questions.
Fantastic.
So putting you on the spot with a few things here. What is something no one tells you about working in your industry?
I would say how addictive it can be, positively addictive. I'm very lucky. I absolutely love my job, and I think sometimes it feels like a bit of a hobby for me. I get to spend days with clients and coming up with cool ideas, and that's so much fun. I think one of the things when I joined BeReal that was so exciting for me was I felt like I was feel like I'm amongst obsessives. We've got masters of our craft, and we really feel like we're building something quite exciting, which is the sunny side of social, if you will. I think when you're building something like that, there's always moments where it's nice to get some recognition that you're on the right path. We had this breakthrough in culture moment back in January where Central C released his latest track, Gatta, which name-checked BeReal as the Gen Z platform. And that was an amazing moment, A, because it kind of recognises what you're doing, but also just that kind of brand resonance. You just can't buy that. So
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
That's fantastic. Do you find you can't switch off?
Sometimes, yeah, but it's not problematic for me. Like I said, I genuinely love what I do. I know how to switch off if I want to, but I just love what I do every day.
That's magical. That's magical when you're like, actually, I'm really happy to be here all the time.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Do you think AI could actually replace your role?
Yeah, this is a very hot topic at the moment, isn't it? Parts of it for sure. Data crunching, pulling some slides together, finding insights, even producing some creative thought starters sometimes for campaigns. I definitely lean on it as a tool quite a lot, but I think that's the key word there, is it is a tool. I try and shift as much of my grunt work onto it. At the heart of what I do is all about relationships. I mentioned being able to spend time with my clients earlier as to why I love my job. I'm so incredibly lucky to be able to do that. So what I do is I put as much grunt work onto the AI tools so that I have as much free time as possible to focus on what really matters, which is my clients and the people.
That's really important, I think. It's a tool, it's something that can be used, but I think it shouldn't ever go too far on the scale, which unfortunately our society can do sometimes.
Don't go crazy with it.
No, it doesn't need to be. It could just be, like using Instagram or whatever, it's just an additional part of our society. Okay, this is a good one. Customers or followers?
Customers or followers? I will go in classic marketing fashion and propose neither, and I would say communities. That's what a lot of my work has been based on, is communities. And the reason I say that is, on BeReal, for example, we've moved away from this kind of performative idea of performing to an audience, and it's much more just about belonging. So you've shifted from broadcast to presence, so it's just about being amongst the community, whether you're a brand or a user. And that sense of being is so easy on BeReal. There's no kind of creative blocker. It is so easy just to create. You saw how quickly I took my BeReal in when we got here in the cab. It's so quick, and that sort of presence and immediacy is what excites our users. 70% of our users post daily, so it's clear that we're doing something right to make it so easy. And not only that, they're excited to do it. 40% of our users all flood into the app at the time of the BeReal notification. So not only is it easy for them to create, they're literally excited to do so as well. I think that kind of time-bound engagement, is obviously so powerful for brands, but it's something we're particularly proud of to be creating such a hype with our users too.
And I suppose communities builds customers, builds followers, and it all sort of means it's more heart-led, right?
Communities is where you start, for sure.
Brilliant. What is your marketing red flag?
My marketing red flag would be when there's a clear disconnect between a brand's proclaimed desire to be brave and push the boundaries versus a lack of willingness to maybe put their neck on the line a bit in pursuit of a great creative idea. Great ideas really do require, I'd say brave ideas require brave marketeers. It's very easy to say that you want to be brave or innovative in a brief, but it's a totally different thing entirely to actually sign off that kind of work. And without the brave marketeer, you can't really push the boundaries.
Yeah, I'd say that's very true. People like to say things and not necessarily to jump. They're just like, they get to the edge and they're like, well, maybe I'll take the stairs. Yeah, exactly. Okay, final question, because I know you're a busy man. Finish this sentence. The future of marketing is?
The future of marketing is earned, not imposed. A big thing I'm focusing on at the moment is trust, and I think it's about building trust and not just reach. I'm delighted to be working with some amazing brands like Radox from Unilever, or even Samsung, that are moving away from this more kind of polished and perfectionist approach on social to just working with us to simply show up in real moments. And that's really important, because by showing up in these real moments, what I like to say is they're kind of doing this lo-fi, high trust approach. They're not chasing virality. They're showing up authentically and driving these genuine connections with their audiences, which in turn then does drive trust for them. And that trust is something that I'm so delighted by. It permeates through everything that we do at BeReal. I was delighted when I joined that I found out that over 80% of our users say that they think BeReal is the safest social platform they use. And the fact that they trust us with that, I'm just so incredibly proud of.
Especially with, a lot of narratives at the moment not feeling like things are truthful or not being monitored to be truthful. That's a massive thing, and in a world that's...
It was amazing to see, honestly.
Yeah, that's a great one. Any final thoughts, favourite moments, last tidbits that you've got?
It's just exciting to be here. There's a very clear energy in the street, not that the camera can see it. And it's been an honour to be part of this, so thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all soon.
See you guys.